The St. Louis City government has been going through some changes, improvements, and collaborations over the past few years. Several different leaders and initiatives have been put into place to help foster economic development and growth in the city of St. Louis. Director of Health for the city of St. Louis, Dr. Fredrick Echols, is helping lead that movement. Welcome to Dr. Echols.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. So, you know what? We've actually spoken before because you were in a different role at a different health department. So tell us about that.
Prior to starting at the City of St. Louis Department of Health, I was the Director of Infectious Disease, Vector and Veterinary Services for the St. Louis County Department of Public Health.
All right, so you do this public health thing. This is your thing.
That's
so
my
how
thing.
how did you start? Where are you from? How did you get into this?
So I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, where I attended Clark Atlanta University for undergrad, and then I matriculated through the Boston University School of Medicine, after which I served time in the military. While in the military, population health became a passion of mine, and population health is really important because, particularly at the policy level, a lot of the changes that are implemented really impact lives, and really we need individuals that understand the impacts that ordinances and legislation has on individuals. And so being an advocate for the community is really my passion as well. And so being in public health allows me to do both.
I got you. All right. So you know what? You've got this new job, and you've been there how long?
This is week 11.
Week 11. So when you applied for the job, were you just like, okay, these are my things, and this is what I want to concentrate on, I'm assuming?
So when I started with the St. Louis County Department of Public Health, I didn't just focus on St. Louis County. I really was looking at the region as a whole. And so I did a lot of studying of the city of St. Louis to better understand the history and how the current health outcomes are connected to some events that have transpired in the past. And a lot of times in public health, we often look at the now. But the now has a history. The now has a story. And so understanding that story really sets us on the correct path to move forward.
So when you say you look at the history, so do you look at things like, because you asked me what was my own, I guess, personal involvement with the health department, I'm like, I don't think I have any. But when you think about public health, you think about things like lead poisoning.
Absolutely.
Or things like, now I saw that they're starting to look at gun violence as a public health issue as well. So are these some of the things that you're speaking of?
Absolutely. So public health overall, there's different components of public health. So you have, it's typically broken out into divisions. So you have the regulatory arm of the health department, which is typically the environmental services component. And then you also have the surveillance component, which typically entails communicable disease, infectious diseases, and doing surveillance and making sure people that are diagnosed are properly tracked, as well as linked to proper services. In addition to that, there's also a service arm. Over the past years, a lot of the clinical services for the City of St. Louis Department of Health have been reduced or farmed out to other agencies. And so, although we currently provide limited clinical services or limited direct care to City of St. Louis residents, that's still a really important part of part of our mission.
All right. So you're looking to maybe increase those things?
Absolutely. So one of the things that has just occurred is, the City of St. Louis has received its Vaccine for Children certification through the Department of Health and Senior Services. And this is a special program that allows the health department to provide immunizations to individuals that are uninsured, particularly children that are uninsured, to make sure they have proper vaccination coverage, because access to medical services and other barriers can prevent individuals from maintaining proper health.
Right. So when you talk about vaccines, so what about all this uproar about vaccines and like the measles outbreaks in other cities? St. Louis hasn't had to deal with those subjects, have they, just of yet?
So no measles cases have been reported in the city of St. Louis. However, with international travel and this travel being more accessible and utilized more by U.S. citizens and international individuals from other countries, it's really important that we make sure our residents and visitors have an understanding that vaccinations are important, and they are really one of the most important public health tools that have been developed over time.
Well, we'll get more into that. There's more on the Dr. Fredrick Echols and his movement at the St. Louis City Health Department after this break. Stay with us for more STL Live.